Hi everybody, intrepid viewers, welcome, new viewers, welcome. And here we are, we're going to have a look at what April looks like for the Yeti. Hold on a moment, I need another pillow. I'm getting old, viewers. Hold on a moment. Oh. If I was a more tech-savvy person, I would have edited that out. But I don't edit. What you get is what comes out of my mouth. Okay? So there you go. So the Yeti in April. The Yeti in April. It's so hard to watch, isn't it, when he got that win in inverted commas. But we must also remember the other 400 pages of the Mueller report are yet to be released. So, meanwhile, he's running around spreading chaos. Spreading chaos. Ghastly creature, ghastly creature. Okay. Oh, I must do a reading on Avenatti too. Yes, there's so much to cover. Yeti in April. Let's have a look. I think week by week. So we'll give him a signifier and then we'll do weeks 1 to 4. Okay. Oh, the Prince of Cups. Week 1, here we go. All right, week 1, not surprisingly, very 1, 2, 3. He gets 3 major arcana cards out of 4 cards. Now, for those of you learning tarot, there are 22 major arcana cards. They're the big stories. And he gets as his signifier the Prince of Cups. This is the rather warrior-like prince going forward. There's a darkness to that prince energy, as you can see from the colouring of the card and so forth. This is him, happy with himself, charging forward with his ridiculous ideas. Okay, that would be the trumpet. So he then gets the chariot. In week 1, things are still going well for him in a general sense. He gets the chariot again. Notice the prince is on a chariot, and also he gets the traditional chariot. Okay, but with this, look at the difference. The hands are on the reins here, or on the levers of power. Here they're not. The hands are not touching the reins. The chariot is driving itself. Then about midweek of the first week of April, he gets a bit of a setback and he becomes the hanged man, waiting for things to change, things that are a bit out of his control. Normally, there's an interpretation here that the hanged man is another point of view hanging upside down, but we know Trump doesn't have points of view, because if you did, you'd have to think, and he doesn't think about anything. He's a creature of reflex. So there he is, suspended in the middle of the first week. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sexual stuff here. Now, this is the Strength card, which is a strong card. That's why I am saying his first week of April will still be him getting comparatively good news for what it is. But there's an element with the Lust card in the Crowley deck of being, how to put this, drawn to the baser emotions. I think I'll be kind. To the baser emotions. And that would be greed, lust, envy, all those things that actually float Trump's boat. That's what he operates on. Really base energy. Give me, give me, give me. I want more money. I want more sex. I want more of everything, and everyone else can just wander off and die. That is the very negative interpretation of the Strength card. Having said that, the first week of April is not going to be bad for him. Okay, so let's see what happens in the second week of April. All right. Oh, a funny one. I wonder if that's Melania or Ivanka. We'll get to her in a minute. So this is the Prince of Discs. He got as his signifier the Prince of Cups, father of the nation. Yeah, right. Sperm donor of the nation is as far as you'd go with that, isn't it? Because cups are the more emotional suit. This is the Prince of Discs, but I have a feeling this is Don Jr., the princelet of the foul, deceptive and corrupt regime that is the Trump family org. I'm going to call this as Donald Jr., who at this point is enormously relieved, and because they don't follow the fine print and only watch Fox News and they can tell them what to say, he has no idea what's coming. No idea at all. The other reason I think that is, this is the Apprentice card. So this is the Eight of Discs. In the Rider-Waite, you could look at Don Jr. as the apprentice to his father. Right? So for some reason, week 2 April, Don Jr., and I now think in that context, Ivanka, Princess of Cups. Something's going to turn up about what they've done, and this is going to impact on the Yeti. Okay. So let's have a look at week 3. Oh, things go downhill in week 3. I'm pleased to report, oops, shouldn't get such schadenfreude against other people's misery, but the honeymoon of the 4-page summary by Barr is going to wear off. The news cycles are very quick. And I just want to say here too, viewers, before I go any further, oh, sorry, I thought things were going wrong. No, they're right. Yeah, I just wanted to say it's really, really important with something that was as shocking as that boom revelation about the Mueller report, taken in isolation, but nonetheless out there, the first thing to emerge. It's really, really important to stay on track. So not only to become disillusioned with the system, because it is a much longer game, but also to realise right until 2020 and even beyond, and I'm sure if those of you who follow astrologers realise there's a longer picture that this is part of, it's important to keep your energy up however you can. And that might mean less news or better quality, smaller amounts of news, but also finding like-minded sites like this one, I think really help. I know they help me, so I hope I'm helping you, because it's got to not let people become paralysed. That is my biggest fear, that people feel defeated and paralysed. This is transition. Transition is not comfortable. It is really important to stay on board and stay engaged. So back to here, and I think you'll find this a bit better news from our perspective. Okay, week 3, April. This is the major arcana in the TOF called Adjustment. It's a bit like the Judgment card, right? So they're going to have that first 2 weeks of everything being tickety-boo, and suddenly in week 3, they're going to have to make a radical adjustment because the Tower, it's amazing how it keeps turning up. The Trump Tower, particularly as I just said, week 2, there's going to be Don Jr. and Ivanka stuff. I think this is about that, followed by the Death card. So week 3 for Trump is not, week 3 of April is not going to be fun. So now we're going into week 4. All right, so in week 4, we have the Star, a good card in the terms of hope and inspiration. So it's below the card of adjustment. So somehow he's going to adjust in his sort of tiny little amoeba-like brain. He's going to turn it into an okay scenario for himself emotionally, he thinks. However, up against that is the group work and the group money, which is still being exposed directly under the Tower, followed by the Moon. Now, often we say the Moon, lies and deceit. It's also the unconscious. So it's like, it can also be the card of deep psychological delusion, which I think is going to be coming into play. Okay, so that's the 4 weeks. I just want to do a generic sort of mini read now in terms of, oh, you don't need to see my knees. With Trump and April, where have we got? April, May, June, before the summer. I think momentum is going. I must do a card generally on the USA too. Not a card, a reading. You can see how my brain is so fractured. Yeah, let's have a look at Trump and resistance to Trump. I just want a little taste on. I might do a full reading on this. In April, is there going to be the start of real resistance to Trump? Because the reason I'm asking this question is he started to go really off the rails, right? He's not backing down on tariffs. All his economic people say, stop the tariffs. They're a disaster for your base. They're a disaster for the country. No, won't listen. He hasn't won on the wall, so now he's found out he can close the border to stop drugs coming in. Like drugs come in backpacks over the border. I mean, please spare me. They come in boats and cars and planes, love. Like, you know, really. So he might do a power trip on the border. And the big debacle, which is healthcare. He's now determined, because he's bored, to dismantle Obamacare again. So the Republicans can't be happy, but I'm just going to do a little taster now on resistance to Trump in April. Resistance or pushback. Is there going to be pushback, please? Pushback in April. Oh, there he is again. Oh, he can't get off the Chariot for a minute. Might have won. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, he might have upset a few too many people. This is interesting. Okay, so here he is again. The Prince of Darkness, Prince of Cups, seeing himself as the supreme dark leader. Those things I was describing. I'm going to destroy these things because I can, right? So that's that energy. He's going to come out slashing and burning. That's, again, exactly what I was describing. Things like, I'm going to close the border. I'm going to dismantle Obamacare. That stuff. Really destructive energy. Because he is a fool, the fool can be much more sophisticated than that. But for him, I need go no further. But what's interesting is this is the card of revenge, Knight of Wands. Again, sometimes this is proceeding with hesitation, other times with more momentum. There's an element like the Knight of Swords that can be revenge. I want to do a clarifier on this Knight of Wands, because I clearly heard but people are angry with him. This is a very angry read, by the way. All these cards, I mean, except for the Fool, because he is a Fool, they're aggressive and they're angry. So I need a clarifier. Knight of Wands. Princess of Swords. My goodness. Women. Princess of Swords. It can also be the spy in the camp, but I think these things actually impact on everybody, of course, particularly healthcare. But women who are in the front line of caring positions are really disenchanted with the cuts to Obamacare. So I think there might be pushback by women. I hope so. But expect more of this macho, knuckle-dragging aggression from him. And it's going to be so bad that it'll force people to actually react. So sometimes we need that catalyst of something so dramatic and so horrendous to actually get people out on the streets, to actually get people to mobilize in all sorts of ways. So it's not until the voting public keep sending that message back to their own representatives. This is not acceptable. It is not acceptable. So I think he's going to have a cruisy first week, a bit more difficult. Then the second half of April, more of this macho nutcase behaviour. All right then, love you guys. I'm getting to the comments. Live for the comments. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye for now.